two worlds meet. East Street boys bring the party, bring the noise from Hialeah with some joy.
Drink water like that. Well, I'm telling you, bro, I'm focused, man. Yeah, inside out.
You don't know who I am by now.
Identify as.
You know, hey. When Alex takes a shower, the dude goes for 3 hours. I mean, it's like, you know he's going to be gone for a while. You have time. Do whatever you're going to do. Go grocery shopping. Go eat dinner.
Latin spice and neon lights.
Well. Good evening, Miami, and welcome to another episode of East 10th Street Boys, straight out of Hialeah, live on FTSN. I'm Bobby El Gringo, joined always by Alex the Boy, Alex El Nino.
Yeah,
Alex,
mano.
my brother, what is up,
Spanish.
my man?
Very Hispanic of you today.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien,
¿Cómo estás?
gracias.
Bobby el Americanito.
All right, chill.
Oh,
It's
man.
like when I was growing up in Hialeah, when they go, hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien, ¿y tú? And then as soon as they started going to everything else, I'm like, oh, whoa, chill.
Stop.
El
stop.
Americano.
Yeah,
Americano. Amigo.
Sound like a Cuban guy ordering American coffee in a Dunkin' Donuts. Americano, please.
Americano.
I'm doing good, man. Missing you. It feels like an eternity, but we just recorded a show yesterday, so I like our new rendezvous. What's up, rainy
Yes,
day?
2 days ago.
That's right. 2 days ago. Sorry, my apologies. We'll get
Our
the
show
dates right.
dropped yesterday, But yes, sir. No, man. And first off, shout out. We got Adrian in the house. Rainy Day Podcast dropping in. Appreciate you. Yes. Heat Index 305 episode 1 dropped yesterday. We recorded Monday night talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo possibly being traded to the Miami Heat. More and more, it seems like that could be a possibility if you're listening to everything, which I'm telling people. I told Alex before the show, I'm not giving it any juice. I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to let it ride out. I am focused on the NBA draft, which we will talk about tonight. We also got to talk about the big news. Devon Achane getting extended. 4 years, $64 million, 30 some odd plus guaranteed.
Yeah, I think 32.
You.
Thank you, Lord Jesus.
32. So
Appreciate
I'm excited about, $32 million guaranteed, $17 million per year. So I'm excited that we've extended the Miami Dolphins have extended Devon Achane. To all those that didn't want it to happen. It happened. We got Jordan Brooks next, Aaron Brewer after that. Hopefully we can get Brooks extended so he could be paired up with Rodriguez and Kyle Lewis for years to come. But we're going to get into that, and hopefully Finstanza will join us later into the show to give us his live reaction. We got Anthony Manzano. We got Adrian. Yes, we are mocking tonight.
You know
we
it.
will be mocking. Alex asked me after the show, he's like, hey, Bobby, is there a mock draft simulator for NBA? I'm like, you better know it.
Yeah.
So we will be doing that. But before we get into that, shout out to all those tuning in. Congratulations to the FTSN team. We have, Tati's here as well. And shout out to Tati for the work she's been doing in the back end. She is more hands-on on FTSN, I'm in charge of production and creative design and creative control, whatever you want to call it. She's in the back end, and she been handling all the advertising, promotions, everything. Anyway, FTSN now breaking 4,000 subscribers. So shout out to the team. Shout out to Tati.
She's our marketing director right there.
She is the marketing director, the co-founder, all of what you call it. She is, and she is more hands-on. Like she's always been in the back end doing stuff, but not like this. I mean, she is on me like right on rice.
She's
not just in life, but also on this, because she's always on me. But I'm talking about now, she's like, extra. But we've broken 4,000 subscribers. So thank you for everybody subscribing. Hopefully you love the content. For everybody who's been with us, who's grown with us, thank you so much. But all the newcomers, welcome to the channel, and hopefully you enjoy it. Whether you do or don't, let us know what you think. Tell us what you think about the Miami Heat draft plans, or if they're going to make a trade. Should they make a trade? And then, of course, your thoughts on Devon Achane getting extended. Anthony says, Bobby, honestly, I don't think we draft the point guard. Most people think we have KJ on the roster. It makes zero sense. We need a shooting guard because we're going to be trading Tyler. We're going to talk about all that and every possibility with the Miami Heat because, again, you're right? We got KJ, but if KJ's included in a trade, does that open up a slot? But also at shooting guard, we have Pele Larson. If Larson stays, should we draft a shooting guard or should we promote Pele to be the starting shooting guard? Again, I think about it as a 3 and a 4. I think about a small forward. I think about a power forward. Those come into play. We're going to talk about all of that. Alex has been diving deep into the draft, so we'll go into that. I must sell him like a wow.
Jesus Christ!
Wow!
God
Oh
damn,
my God!
Man. I feel used and abused. Like wow!
My goodness!
Jesus.
Oh my goodness!
I'll send it to you later.
Look. Yes. I feel used. I'll send you one. Yes, Russ had the On Deck Baseball podcast that over
Russ, my man.
Last episode talking about the Atlanta Braves had over 1,000 viewers since we started promoting and advertising. So that was really good and a lot of good views on that. And we had one guy saying, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know we had another Braves fan, Dolphins, Boston Celtics." So really cool. But we're going to get into the mock draft. And again, the Heat could have this pick. They may not have this pick. But right now, we're going to go with the notion that they are going to have this pick. And there's so many options in this draft legitimately. Like Anthony brings up point guard, shooting guard. Like, yes, and there are some good ones. Alex has a couple favorites. Alex, are you there? Looked like you were on the phone. I don't know if you...
No, I'm here.
Yourself. But
no, remember, I mute myself because of the beautiful background noise that has in my house when there's a plane and cars going through. So don't worry about it.
But there's a lot of good players in this draft. I know the first top 4 would be great. If we could get any of those top 4 guys, signed, sealed, delivered, go home. If we got into the top 4, I would have been ecstatic. I would not trade that pick. I don't care who's available. I would go for one of those top 4 guys. But we don't. We got pick 13. So I understand that pick being used. But if that pick is not used and we keep that pick, it's not the end of the world. I think there's a strong possibility you could get a really good player, potentially a franchise type player at 13 if the right guy falls. And we've had that before when a guy falls and that wasn't supposed to be a KJ being one, right? He hasn't shown anything yet to be a franchise changing guy, but that's okay. You don't expect that at that point. Justice Winslow was at that one point was a guy who fell that we didn't expect to be there, but he didn't turn out to be that guy, which again, it happens. But there are guys like that in this draft. We're going to talk about them. Obviously, we got Dybunsta, we got Patterson, Boozer, Wilson, Wagler. There's a lot of good names out there, but there are other names as well. Alex, one of those guys you were talking about today, he had a killer day at the pro day at the combine. Talk about him.
Well, my man, and these are like you mentioned, these are the hypothetical situations where we know the writing's on the wall. And there's a high possibility that we're not making this pick, even depending on the package that it would require to acquire Giannis, depending on what's going to come out now. Because remember also with the new rules, the new tanking rules, GMs are going to protect those picks even more because the odds are going to be pretty level throughout. So you're not going to see so many trades where it's just 3 or 4 first-round picks being moved. They're going to be very careful about this. Depending on the package that we send for Giannis, I would try to keep this 13 overall pick. So that would be if you're giving into like the Khalil Wares, if you're depleting your youth in Hawkins, Ware, and they ask for Jackachonis as well, I would try like hell to keep this pick. But I know at this point when you're in for Giannis, there's going to be no holding back. Everybody's available per se within the realm of possibility. The Heat are just not going to move the farm in order to deplete the whole roster just to acquire Giannis when they're going to acquire him next year. So the threat is there. I believe it's going to be a balanced trade if it's executed. But for our intention purposes, if we keep the 13th pick, one of my top guys that is going to be climbing up the boards, and I identified him like a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, this might be the best player available at that spot. I am never of the belief that you pick for fit. I believe the Heat, they need optimal athleticism, optimal explosion. They need a raw talent. They need a talent there it's not for the fans. This team needs positional size. This team needs excitement. And I'm not just saying this pick because there might be many possibilities, but my top guy is Cameron Carr from Baylor University. That guy right now is on a he's skinny. He's 6'5", 6'6". I believe is 180, but his wingspan, he has a +8 wingspan. So I'm talking about his wingspan is I think almost like 7 feet or 7'1". He has a 35 or 38-inch vertical. The defensively he needs some work, but he has all the metrics to be an explosive basketball player. He shoots very well from long range. He shoots 80% plus from the free throw line and on a high volume as well from threes. So you're talking about a player that will bring excitement to the fan base, is very complementary to what we have now. And you need what we talked about in our pod the other day about you need positional size in every position. When people talk about size, I'm not only thinking in regards to you got to be 6'10", 7 feet throughout. No. Every position, you no longer see backcourts that are 6'2", 6'3", both guards. You're looking at maybe if you have a 6'2", 6'3" guard, you have a 6'7", 6'8" shooting guard or small forward. And at times you play positionless. So it's really just backcourt and front court. So there's Carr. There is the possibility of Yaxo falling from Michigan, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be gone either by Golden State or by Oklahoma City. There's going to be a lot of movement. This draft, there's multiple teams that have multiple picks in the top 20. So some of these teams can package their picks with certain players expiring and move up. You're talking about OKC possibly moving out of the second pick in the first round to acquire future draft picks and kind of like kick the can down the road because they don't have that many roster spots. So there's going to be a lot of moves, man. It's going to be, I know every offseason there's a reshuffling of the teams and of the conferences, but this year has the possibility of it being a seismic shift in multiple conferences as also teams improve organically with their draft picks. You're talking about an offseason of major moves. You have the possibility of 5 superstars being moved in Durant, Kawhi Leonard. Ira the other day threw up the name of Lauri Markkanen. I didn't even know if he was available, but if he's available, that's someone I'm keeping an eye on too to Utah because Utah's going to move. Utah might try to move up to Washington. They're going to try to move up and get the Bansta. I don't know if Washington's going to cave in or other teams going to jump them, but they have a possibility of doing so. But how we seen the playoffs and how we saw this NBA season end, a lot of teams are going to look different. A lot of divisions are going to look different.
Yeah, I like that you bring up Cameron Carr. Interesting player there in that top 20 range. As you said, I mean, again, played for Tennessee in a couple years. Didn't really show much. Jumped to Baylor and it kind of exploded onto the scene. And you bring up that 30-pointer today. Did really well in Baylor. Now you bring up the underweight, the physicality of the NBA. Yeah. How does that translate? If he drafted by Miami, they're going to tell him that, they're going to have him put muscle on and whatever. So that's something there. But I agree with you on this. You look at what's available, especially where Miami could be picking, what could be available at Miami's pick. And you look at the traditional Heat type of player. You look at the few last players as Adrian brought up, the Heat have had solid drafts the past few years, right? I mean, Jaquez, Khalil Ware, you even think about, Adebayo and Hero is more likely out the door. But, and the jury's out on Jovic. We know the upside on Jovic, but right now the jury's out on him. However, the Heat have shown that they draft really well, and they got a good scouting department because you think of Pele Larson, Kashad Johnson, you think of those type of guys as well. So the Heat, and let me just say here, the Heat don't just have a first-round pick. I think the second-round pick is just as valuable. You could get a really good player in the second round as well. But the one thing I will say, Alex, I think that one thing Miami should be looking at this year is not just a guy that fits their system who could play day one right now. They need a guy that they're going to say, hey, if there's a guy who could become a superstar,
yes,
that's the guy we're going to get.
Yes.
Even if he's not completely done, if you're like, man, but his shooting game is not perfect, or his 3-point game is hot and cold. And, no, if you think this guy's going to be one of the guys in 3 to 5 years, possibly, or more, Like, but you think he could probably lead this team eventually and maybe be
Yeah.
1 or 2 to Bam Adebayo or take over? That's the guy you need to get. Yes, like, Jaquez at that moment in time fit the system. He's the
Correct.
Miami Heat type of player. I think, when the Heat took Jovic, that might have been a case, they're like, hey, upside, what could he possibly be in a few years? Khalil Ware type scenarios, like, hey, he has perimeter shooting, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, the raw talent. Raw talent.
This is the year I think Miami has to say, especially with the first pick, if they don't get Antetokounmpo, Giannis, and that is their main point. They're like, after that, they're like, okay, we don't know what we're going to do now, and we're keeping this 13. Even if they get Giannis and they keep that 13th pick, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
But if they could do that, I think this pick needs to be the pick where they say we're gonna shoot, we're gonna try to hit a home run. We're gonna try to get a guy that we think has that underlying potential. And again, I would rather go with a 3 or 4 guy with size, 6'6", 2, close to 200 pounds, bustle, mass, but also could shoot. But at the same time, if they think a point guard, a shooting guard, not even if we got KJ, if they think one of these guys could be the next SGA or the next whatever, go get that guy.
Of course.
Who cares what your needs are? Who cares what the size perimeter is? At that point, go get that guy. Arenas, Carr, Burries, Wagler, there's Anderson, whatever, go get that guy.
Yeah. And
Doll in the
there's a lot
house.
of
Shout out to
similarities.
Doll's Diaries. Good to see you, my friend. He can't hurt me because we got H in lockdown. Damn right, girl. You're damn right.
No, and even Bobby, in our situations, for example, it all depends on what comes our way, because I love Nate Amont.
Yes.
I love Philin from Alabama. Also Chris Sanak from Houston. There's a lot of people that might be available, and the one I mentioned to you, I know they're looking at him. Quintenance, Jaden Quint, I think it's Quintenance from Kentucky. Yep. Exactly. There's the kid from Texas, Swain. So there's a lot of possibilities here. There's a lot of teams, but I just don't want them to fall. And I mean, the Heat have never really done this. And like you mentioned, the Hawkins draft was perfect because there was a position of need, and he happened. I'm not saying that they picked Hawkins just because of fit. They picked Hawkins because obviously they liked who he is as a player, but he fit like a glove for the Heat because he was legit coming right off the bench and just relieving Jimmy Butler and basically taking his position. And at that time, what I mentioned to you was he is a more offensively gifted Jimmy Butler when Jimmy Butler came into the league. And he kind of just replicated what Jimmy Butler did, which was awesome. Now, those are things that in this draft, like you said, where the league is going, and if you do make this pick, you cannot just conform to what you need. You're picking best player available, and then you'll make it work. Because dealing with Milwaukee, I believe there's going to be some leverage because, remember, we're early on into this Giannis conversation, and Giannis hasn't even mentioned anything. But you're kind of seeing reports now, oh, Miami's in the front of the line. Oh, Giannis has Miami as his top seed. That's perfect. When Giannis or his representation come out and say Giannis will only sign an extension here or there, that is when the real negotiations start. So there's no necessity to jump the gun. Let's wait it out. And it is telling, though, that the Heat have only met with second-round draft picks. That might just be a scheduling thing. They've met with second-round prospects, per se, players that are mocked to be picked late first or early second. They haven't met with anybody that is projected in the lottery. Like I said, it's still early. The meetings will come now more as the week goes on. The combine just started yesterday. So I will see that develop. And now you're going to start seeing a lot of news. Oh, the Heat met with this person. And remember, the Heat always have a bunch of smoke screens. When they're really interested in a player, they really don't make it known. Only very few people know. Like local reporters will know here and there.
100%. Yeah, Koa Pate. Yeah, right
Koa
there.
Pate
That's
too.
another guy to talk
Monster
about.
possibility from Kentucky, from Connecticut. Yeah.
Again, Noah Ahmad from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Kareem Lopez. You talk about Hawkins, but Lopez actually out of Mexico. Played in New Zealand.
In New Zealand,
I like him a lot. He has a lot of potential. That's a different beast. He's not Hawkins. He has a lot more offensive potential.
Correct.
Correct.
Just a little slower.
a little slower, but still,
Yeah.
you know, again, that's a guy who could show up, show out.
Correct.
We talked about Yasifo the other day on the last show or before maybe from Baylor. That's another guy that we talked about. A guy that I like, but he just went back. He got a good NIL deal, and that's just gonna kill you. But is Thomas
Yeah, from Florida.
Out of Florida.
Yeah.
I was really intrigued by him and really intrigued. But he goes back to Florida.
Yeah.
So we're left with this. And again, not that this is any wrong thing here. Shout out Lou from Dade. Appreciate Lou. Lou. Hit that like button, subscribe button. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Doll in the house. Well, and then welcome back, Mike Brown, Mike the Hebrew Hammer, back on FTSN, bringing over his beer, sports, and whatever podcast to FTSN. So welcome,
Bienvenido.
Mike Brown, back to the family here on FTSN. Well, he's always been part of the family. Everybody's part of the family, but back onto the active roster, as I would say, the active roster. He was on the what do you call not when you're retired list, was the reserves. He was on the reserves. Back in
one name I forgot to mention, Morris Johnson Jr., the one from Michigan. That Michigan front line is all of them are gonna get drafted. All of them gonna get drafted, bro.
But I'm very intrigued to see. And again, if the Heat do trade 13 but keep their second pick, I'm still very intrigued in this draft about where they're going to go, because there are going to be players on here you're like, how the hell did that guy fall to the second round? How is he still there? Kashad Johnson was that guy a few years back for me. I was like,
yes.
I told Alex, I remember he's one of the guys I brought up to you. And I remember when we got him, I was like ecstatic. You know, and I still think, we got him undrafted, right?
Undrafted free agent, yeah.
You see, it's like
Larson. We picked Larson and Johnson. We picked Larson and we signed Johnson.
And look what those two are. And Pele Larson obviously shown to be the right pick in the second round, but Kashad Johnson, I still think could be a contributor on this team more than what he already is. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into the mock and let's have some fun, see where everything kind of falls into place and where we could go with Miami's pick. Do we get a guy who falls? Do we reach a little bit? Let's play it out and kind of see how it goes. I'm going to drop this here.
We could do multiple ones of these. It's the best because it's only 2 rounds. That's the best thing.
It's only 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Kind of
do it again.
Going,
do it
right?
again. Do it again.
So obviously Washington has the pick. This is from PFSN, who has their own mock draft simulator. So so shout out to them for putting this up here. To get this done. So we'll see, Alex. Okay, so let's looking at the top of this board here. Which one of these guys that are on top of their board? We can see Akif there, and Ragler at 6. Which one of these guys would you love, like realistically love, that if they were available at 13, that you would be like, don't even think about it, go get that guy
at 13?
Like realistically, if one of these guys, like we know that Patterson, Boozer more than likely become, but realistically, like if you saw one of these guys, which one would be the one to be like, hey, if this guy's there, I'm not even thinking about it?
Look, man, these are things. For example, Fleming's actually realistically might drop to 13 because of his measurements at the combine. But for me, the best offensive player in this one might be Akoff. The most natural scorer is Peterson. The best overall player is Dabansta. But out of all of them, the one that I believe has the most potential is Caleb Wilson. That to me is, I mean, Boozer's going to give you 20 and 10 for the next possibly 10 years. So he's your safe pick. I'm not saying he's not going to be a bad pick. He's just your safe pick. But he is the most balanced player. Caleb Wilson to me has the most upside that he could just explode depending on where he's drafted. I think really the draft will start here because it's either Memphis or Chicago. Chicago's honestly in the best spot because they're going to pick whoever out of the top 4.
That's right.
We
talked about that.
The
Wizards have discussed, like, because they got Anthony Davis, because they got Trae Young, the Wizards have discussed the possibility of trading out of the top pick. And I was saying, I would love for Miami to call just to find out. But you brought up a great point. Yeah, it's like, at number 1, you got the pick of the litter, but at the same time, you're going to have all the eyes watching because if you pick the wrong guy, and again, we pick AJ DeBunsta, you're going to feel really freaking good.
Fine. Yeah.
Or Peterson. But Peterson is so damn good too. I love Peterson.
Peterson fits perfect in Utah because they got Ace Bailey, Lauren Markkinen, Wesley Kessler, and they got Keontae George. So he fits perfect for Utah. So if I'm Utah, I'm happy too. But the Bansta supposedly wants to be in Utah. His family lives there. He's been in Utah already 2 years in high school and in college and BYU. So things happen, and Utah has the
Yeah.
ammunition. Utah has the ammunition to make it happen.
To make a jump.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'll say I agree with you on Caleb Wilson, and I think the injury that might give a thing about pushing out. I don't think he'll be far. He don't think he'll fall too far down.
Yeah.
But because of the injury issues that he's had, I think that could push. But at the same time, I do think that he hasn't fully grown into what he can be. That he offers the most potential. Like these guys are going to be real, all of them, right? Boozer, Pat Peterson, right? There's no doubt. But
those are
Wilson might be the guy who jumps, in regards of what he was to what he could be. But again, we'll see how this kind of plays out. Let's have some fun. Let's roll this out and let's see how it falls, and we'll go from there. First pick going to obviously the Wizards, taking its time. Let's see. Are they making a trade? So they finally went Peterson. So
okay.
The Hawks. Chicago traded up.
Yeah. Whoa! What just happened there? Hold on.
Whoa!
Let's analyze this.
We got a real deal thing going on over here.
Whoa!
And Wilson
is there.
Falls. Wilson fell.
Hold on. First, let's trade this up. Go up.
Let's go ahead. Let's review what happened.
Okay, what happened here? Okay.
Peterson goes to the Washington Wizards at 1.
Yeah.
Chicago from 4 jumps up to 2, takes AJ DeBunsta.
Atlanta trades.
Atlanta moves up from is it 8? They traded up from 8
to
3. Get Cameron Boozer.
Yeah.
The Utah Jazz take Kingston Flemings,
which is a reach.
The Darius Akoff goes to the Clippers. Lindenberg goes 6 to the Nets. Mikel Brown goes to the Kings. Philin goes to Alabama. Lopez goes to Dallas.
Wow.
Nate Amott goes to Milwaukee.
Oh man, if this happens, there's no way this is gonna happen. But if it happens, you pick Caleb Wilson, bro.
Braden Burries goes to Arizona. Goes to the Golden State. Steinbach goes to OKC. And then the question, we just talked about the injuries. That in this scenario, what's going on? Why is he here?
Why is he dropping?
Let's go ahead and do some homework very quick. Call that guy, guy that we know, a guy that knows a guy.
Yeah.
What's going on? Why is he there?
What's going on?
But in this draft, we feel pretty freaking good. And we do it, Now this would be great too. If Wagler was available, that might be a good draft pick at that point in time as well.
Yeah, if he's available. It's a little slower than I would like, but
Wilson.
I'm going Caleb Wilson. There's no doubt.
Let's go, Wilson. We got
welcome home, Caleb.
Welcome home.
I'm watching Cameron. If Cameron doesn't come off the board, I'm calling one of these teams and I'm trying to trade up. Oh, he went off the board. I knew it.
He went to San Antonio.
Yep. Okay.
And he had the 40th. No, the
43rd.
First pick.
41st?
First
okay.
Pick. Yeah.
Okay. Quainance is about to come off the board too. Johnson's going to come off
the
board. Yeah.
Mara's still there.
There. That's insane.
Maurice Johnson. Look, we got 2 Michigan. Oh,
okay. Maurice Johnson.
Ooh, Johnson's still on the board.
Yeah, I like Moreno, but I will go Maurice Johnson on this one.
So let's take
his metrics.
6'9".
Yeah.
Defense.
He's a better shooter. Moreno is a straight up
7'1". And this is my thing though too. You get a guy, we have Khalil Ware. Why?
You need
I don't know what's up with Spo being so stubborn, but you need depth. If even if Ware's still there, you go get this guy.
Yeah.
Now you have 2 legitimate decent. And if you do move on from Ware for any reason, you have a guy who comes in, steps in right away,
Correct.
and comes in.
If they move Ware, they might pick Moreno, but if not, I will go with Montes Johnson because that gives you shooting ability and switchability also with Bam because he could defend the perimeter as well.
I think Moreno, defensive wise, he could be good under the basket, shoot.
Yeah.
I like his upside a little more, but I like the idea of center. I would go center here. But
sure.
you and I are split at this.
Yeah.
I would go Moreno, but with Johnson, you've been talking a lot about him.
Yes.
We can have fun with that. But
Let's roll.
Moreno would probably be the guy I would go. I'm going to do a lot more on these two guys, but Moreno goes right after.
Moreno's very realistic. Yeah, for sure. He was just a matter of time. Damn, I didn't. This is insane.
That was fun.
Yeah,
we'll roll it back. We'll do another one for fun.
Let's do another one. There's no way Caleb Wilson's going to drop to us. Like, no way humanly possible.
You never know. You never know. You never. I'm going to look at you like this. When it happens, I'm like,
bro, if you see Wilson, but you know what sucks about this? And this is the same thing. Remember with Bobo?
Yes.
That he picked him?
I know.
But if you already agreed to a trade, yeah, the Miami Heat are making the pick, but it's not really the Miami Heat making the pick. So if this happens and a trade is agreed upon and Caleb Wilson is there and you're like, oh shit, the Heat got Caleb Wilson. But then you realize like, oh no, this picture's going to Milwaukee. Like, God damn it, bro. Not again, man. Not again.
Well, if you're getting Giannis, I don't think people will be that upset. I mean, I would be annoyed because I would want Caleb Wilson, but
at all.
Get it. But anyway, let's do this again and see if
Let's roll.
Lady Luck comes back on.
Oh, there you go. You could put fast and select draft speed.
Now it's a little different.
Okay, you see, this is normal.
Yeah, Wilson goes 5 now. Wilson goes 5.
Ooh, if Caleb Wilson falls to the Clips, that's amazing for them.
Now, not as crazy. Not as crazy.
Now I would probably lean Yaxel. You got Kareem. You got Jaden. You got Carr there. Damn, man. Honestly, if this is the situation, I still might go Carr because I know Hornets are going to go Jaxel right away, or they're going to go Adimara because they need size. Chicago might get Mara. Who does Chicago pick? Boozer?
I think so, yeah.
So they might get Carr.
Talking about these two guys here, the two guys on the top of the board here, right? First off, Lendenberg, right? He's going to be 24 years old, but he's a 7'4" wingspan at 240. Good handle. Seems like he gets better. Good competitor. Kind of seems Miami Heat-ish, right? Like,
yeah. He has a build.
He has that build, right?
Yeah, the attitude.
Where Lopez, I believe, again, great size, 6'8", currently plays for New Zealand.
Yeah.
But he offers a little more upside, and he's a better offensive player.
Correct.
He could defend multiple positions offensively. He could shoot. Gets hot and cold, but that's okay. But again, I'm
not going to compare him completely to Doncic, but when it comes to his foot speed, his footwork, it's kind of Doncic-like. So that people can get an idea of what you're looking at.
And that's why, like, for me, when I see if Lopez is on the board at this point, like, I would take him over Lendenberg. And I'm not hating on Lendenberg at all. I like Lendenberg.
Yeah.
But I would strongly consider him right here. Koa Pate is another guy who I like a lot out of Arizona. I've always liked him. Always liked what he could possibly turn into. But right now, like in this scenario, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking Kareem Lopez. That's because I'm thinking upside. I'm thinking
you make the decision in this draft, and this mock is yours. Oh, you see, Cameron Carr right after.
Carr goes for Carr goes to Baylor.
I'm telling you, man.
He went 30 in the last one. No, I'm just now we kind of see Mara is I don't know, man. Mara seems like a guy who's not going to be there that long into the draft.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. But you see, those are the things like remember when they're doing the mocks for football? Like this is completely unpredictable because
but that's okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. You throw a curveball in the actual draft and you're set. Oh, Steinbeck is there?
Steinbeck is still there.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
you don't even think
this
about
is
it,
your
right?
draft.
I mean,
this is your draft.
Look at that. I mean, I'm not even thinking about it though. Like again,
at all.
You go with best player available. Moreno is the guy I was going to go. If Steinbeck wasn't there, I was going Moreno. I really think Moreno is going to be good, and I would love to have him on the team. But I'm going to go there.
Moreno fit the missing.
Top 20 players? Are you kidding? Top 5, top 10, then top 20? Or no?
In the second round, it's like, nah, we're good.
Good.
Malik Renew,
just
that's
a little bit.
from UM.
Talking.
I didn't even know
Let me-
Elijah Arenas declared. I thought he was gonna come back. Well, he could still come back. He hasn't.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and let's do it one more time.
One final one. One final one. Perfect. Let's roll.
We're gonna leave normal's good enough. I like the speed on normal. I'm
Yeah,
okay
yeah,
with that.
it's not bad. They went Peterson. They went
Yeah.
Devansta. This is actually realistic too. You're gonna go Caleb.
The first one
why,
went nuts. Oh,
why did they go Fleming
Wilson.
again?
Lopez went 6 this time. Wilson
Oh,
goes
yeah.
9 to Dallas. And there you go, Alex.
Oof. You got Philly. You got Burriers. This one might be inclined to go with my Cameron Carr. Or they got Queenans too. I don't know. I think honestly, if this situation comes up, I'm still in my board. I'm still going Carr because I just see more upside with him. There's more. There's things that he's gonna be well rounded. That a lot of these guys. Philin, I see a lot of Tyrese Maxey in him. He's a great scorer, 3-level scorer. Cole Pete as well. Eddie Mara is obviously he's slow-footed, but he's basically like your Sack Edie. And there's a team that's gonna reach for him. He might go top 10. I would not be surprised if he goes top 10. Maybe even the Mavericks. But I think I'll go Cameron Carr on this one, just to follow my hunch.
Cameron Carr
my
again
God.
played with Tennessee and just went to Baylor, jumped on the map. Not a lot of games under his belt, 175 pounds, but has the offensive upside. And I think
Wow,
even if
Moreno
he
just went to 27 to the
I-
Wolves. Okay, if Cole Pete is there, there's no way Cole Pete's gonna be there. Holy shit, Cole Pete. Oh no, damn it, Clippers got him. Shit.
And now you got a tough
Now
one
we
here.
got a tough one. Now here, there's some conversation of Momcilovic, but I actually like. I don't mind Chinulu from Florida, but there's a kid, Baba. I think it's from. Is it from Texas? He's a little lower. Check if you see him, Bobby. His name is Baba. Oh, Stojakovic is Peja's son.
Yeah.
Damn, where is he? He's
Baba
gonna climb.
Miller.
Baba Miller. That guy, right? No, is it Baba Miller?
FAU? What team does he play with?
I think it's FAU.
Oh,
He's gonna climb up some boards. Oh, that's
They really have a trade offer. That's hilarious.
Oh my God, they have a trade offer.
yeah,
I'll do it.
a
Let me see.
first and a second round pick.
Oh, I would do it. Yeah, we don't have a pick next year. I would do it for sure.
There we go. We did it. We're
Boom.
done.
We're done.
We got a
Peace.
first and a second
Peace out.
rounder. Alex took the easy way out.
This is perfect. I'm about to sign a bunch of unrestricted free agents, so good. I mean, undrafted free agents. So I'm good.
Bobby's in full Chubb mock zone right now. Giggity. So, there you go. But seriously, like, you think about the potential options in this draft and what could be available for Miami. It's crazy, Adrian says that would be wild,
Yeah, that was
it's true.
Caleb
That first
Wilson
one was perfect. That one's so perfect because I love when it's random like that. But it's like because we just said if there was one guy to be Caleb Wilson, and there he goes, and it's like, okay, we got to do it.
There's no way. No way.
But you see, here's the thing though. Crazier things have happened.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Wilson is right there where he could be number 1 or he could be 10, depending on what teams. Because there are teams that think they're smarter than everybody else, and they do crazy stuff where you're like, how is that guy still available? But like, we thought you brought Steinbach earlier. We were talking about Steinbach. That was the one we grabbed in round 2. Played in Germany. It was a freshman in Washington, but he played professionally in Germany, that's a guy you like, right? That's a guy
that's another top. Yeah,
you want to get because that's a guy. If you get him if you get him round 1, makes sense. But if you get him round 2, that's amazing because you get a guy who's played professionally. He's played against legit players. There's not a lot of time you have to wait on him to get used to physicality. But again, he's shown that he can shoot the 3. you know, he doesn't play like a 7-footer. He's 6'11", but doesn't play like it a little bit. But he could be that offensive guy that you could get, maybe a perfect complement to, you know, come off when Khalil comes off the floor, he comes in, kind of does a little bit what Khalil does, just a little bit smaller.
I sent you, Bobby, by the way. I said
Yes.
Baba Miller. That's the one I was talking about from Cincinnati. That might be a second round possibility. Just so you can see it later. You don't have to look at it now.
They had him on FAU. They have him on FAU.
And FAU?
Yeah, FAU. Yeah. But it was Cincinnati. But anyway, you brought up Swine earlier out of Texas.
Yes.
You know, 6'8". I mean, you know, there's so many guys. Again, Nate Amont, that's another guy who could go top 10 or 20, depending. But I think he's going to go in that top 10 range. He's another guy who I think is one of those players who has that upside to be one of a top offensive player, player in the league. I mean, he has everything you would like in a player. See here very quick. Make sure my notes.
No, and one of the things that you're going to see after these combines, you're going to see some players skyrocket up the draft. You're going to see some players drop, which is insane. I understand. It's true. There are certain parameters or metrics that predominantly determine if you're going to be an all-pro NBA player. And basketball, like any professional teams, rely on those metrics, and it's true. You're going to have, but there's always the outliers because you have, for example, certain teams. You look at a Darius Akoff. Akoff is very comparable to Dame Lillard. He has the same metrics, the same measurements in the combines. So you can't really tell if whoever was like analyzing and scouting Steph Curry had no idea who's going to become the best shooter in the world or one of the greatest NBA players of all times. So there's a lot of these players that you see right now, like, oh, they're reaching for him and all. Time will tell with a lot of these situations, just like in football. The only problem is in basketball is very limited because you got 2 rounds. So and there's not that many players declaring for the draft this year, which is insane. I believe there's only like 70-something players because of the whole business of college basketball. So the pot is less. So you also have the possibility of, you're more focused. There's less possibilities of making mistakes because since there's less players available, you have only a select few to pick from. So let's see how it plays out. Giannis will determine what we pick or what we don't pick.
Well, I'll say too, like even if you trade away pick 13, and again, you see the possibilities of who could be available. If you got 41, you keep 41. Again, if you come away with a player like Moreno, out of Kentucky, again, only 19 years old, but he's 19, Alex. 7 feet, over 250. Like, think about that. Already dominant on the baseline, dominant on the rim, defense, and again as a passer. Like he's added that layer to his game where he's, you know, I don't want to say Joker or not like them, not, but he has that layer of the game where he could add that. That's a guy who I think adds shooting to his repertoire. Is a guy I think could be a really good player down the line. So, I mean, there's so many of those facets in this draft where it's like, hey, this is one of these guys who could be something very, very early on.
Exactly.
So,
which is one of the reasons I sent you one of my thoughts was if we don't have a first round pick because it's moved in any Giannis trade or any other trade, if we only have a second round pick, when I saw Baba Miller, I saw the explosiveness and the possibility of basically a freshman at 6'11", and he's going off the charts. So those are things you're trying to make a difference maker because you can always, you know, in the given case that you want to sign a center, you can sign Vucevic as an unrestricted free agent. He's going to be available. He might sign for cheaper. So there's some depth pieces there. If you're going to keep Jovic because Milwaukee doesn't want to absorb his contract, you got some length there as well as part of your rotation. So honestly, it becomes the availability and the opportunity to actually pick someone that's going to make a difference or might even be a rotational player in a year or two, you know? So it all depends on what we move, what we don't move, if we're not depleted, what can we keep? So I'm just excited for any possibility, man, because you can kind of tell the writings on the wall. Miami's going to go more athletic. Miami's going to go positional size. So we're not really focusing on smaller players anymore. Don't get me wrong. If an A+ talent is available, just because he's small and he doesn't fit the mold, that you're still going to go pick him because, you know, their talent's going to overcome that. So, but we'll see.
100%. Now we get into Devon Achin. Fitzstanza should be joining us. He was there a minute ago,
And he just
but
gone.
he disappeared.
He's
I don't know if his
disappeared
lights
into the
are off.
stars.
Apparently.
Yeah, he's just here.
Let's see. Where did you go?
That's a nice backdrop. I never really saw it with our Hialeah, with the design of the fountain and it's pretty cool setup. Or it's in the nighttime. Amazing job, buddy. Amazing job.
Thank you. 20 things.
Do your thing.
Do your thing. But Devon Achin,
Oof.
4 years, 64, right? 64 million?
68.
68 million, 17 a year, $32 million guaranteed. But they get it done.
They get it done.
I know a lot of people said StreamYard is not liking me at the moment.
No.
He's having issues with his StreamYard. But again, there are many people who are like, I don't feel comfortable giving him a second contract for a running back and so forth and so far. And I would say, again, but he's not just a running back. I think that's the mistake people make with Devon Achin. Stop just viewing him as a running back. He's in every back. He does everything. He's a receiver. He's a running back. He does it all. He's a multifaceted type of weapon that if Miami wasn't going to give him this deal, another team was going to do it. And so now Miami secures him for 4 years. And you're like, oh, but why? Why do you get this deal done? Miami's not going to be a good team. Miami's not going to do anything. You're wasting him. I mean, we know the argument's coming, right? We know that argument's going to be had. Here's the counter to that point. Again, you're setting up a foundation. You're setting up a culture. John Eric Sullivan and Coach Hafley know what they're doing in regards of what type of culture they want to set here with the Miami Dolphins. They want guys who are, no matter how shitty your team is, how bad, how much when the other players showed they didn't care, that they weren't giving the effort. When the team was in the shitter and there were guys quitting on the team like a Tyreek Hill and so forth. When there are guys like that a couple years back, and then you think about last year when the team was just bad and there were guys laying it in and Tua was not giving 100% and being an idiot after and during the press conference afterwards. When there are guys doing that, there was a very limited number of guys who were showing up every day, every game day. You knew you could count on them to play a good game. Jordan Brooks, Aaron Brewer, Patrick Paul, Devon Achin. Those guys showed up every day. Didn't matter who their coach was. Did not matter what was happening with the Miami Dolphins. Did not matter what situation the Dolphins were in. You knew those guys were going to give 110% and play their best football. And that's what Devon Achin did. And that is why you extend a player like that. Not just because he's one of the better players in the NFL. Not just because he's your most consistent, better offensive weapon. But because what example he sets for the rest of the team. That's why Miami signed Malik Willis. That's why John Eric Sullivan, Coach Hafley signed Malik Willis. They saw him day in, day out as the backup quarterback in preparation, what he did in practice, what he did when he's off the field. He didn't need to do any of those things. He could practice, then kind of take a back seat. Oh, I'm not the starter. I'm not going to replace Jordan Love anytime soon. I could shoe it in. I'm getting money. He didn't do that. He prepared as a starter, and when it was his time to play, he played the best football he can. So much so that teams wanted him. Now, you sign him to the deal, not because you think he's going to be some great quarterback, but because of the example he's going to set for the rest of the team. And that is one of the reasons why Miami extends Devon Achin. The example that he's going to set for the rest of the team to work hard and bring it every day, week in, week out, no matter what is going on with the season. Let's go ahead and welcome Alex, and let's welcome Fitzstanza, and then we'll get your 2 cents on Devon Achin doing the extension. Let's bring in Evan in the dark, the midnight edition
Oof,
of
midnight
Finstanza.
I had to match Alex. I want to stay
There
in
you
the
go.
dark.
You see, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. Solidarity. Well, there we go. I like it. Amazing.
Solidarity.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, I didn't
You
notice
see?
that. Okay, now I get it. That's
My
really good.
man. But well,
The dark.
Finstanza, so you just came in. I'll just give my quick 2 cents because I know this is topic of expertise for you guys.
Oh,
I believe that this was ideal because you needed to lock down arguably top 3 running back in the NFL. And since he came into the league, I believe he is 1 in yards per carry, yards after contact. There's a quite possibility he's 1 or top 3 in all those categories. And he's going to make your offense go. He's going to provide the relief for Malik Willis, aside from the offensive line being stacked and obviously improving organically with development and creating more availability for your receivers, more spacing. When you have the possibility of a running game and that is your main focus, and not only as a runner, also as a pass catcher, that's going to diversify your offenses. That's going to amplify the way you attack downfield for your receivers. It's going to provide comfort for your quarterback. And when you have a scrambling quarterback, a quarterback that has the ability to scramble, which we haven't had in a while. I know he hasn't been under center yet, but I can assure you, every Miami Dolphins fan is comfortable seeing Malik Willis under center and scrambling if the play breaks down or if the pocket breaks down in comparisons to Tua. And now you have that. You have HN locked in.
Who's that?
Who?
Who?
Hey, man, it was just a matter of time. I know people were clamoring for HN to be moved. This is one of the building blocks. And once again, Sully is sticking to his plan. What he said he will do, he is doing. So we always ask for accountability from our front office. Our GM and our head coach are being accountable, and they're following through on everything that they said that they were going to do. So I couldn't be happier, man. This is something that it's a building block, and now we just got, like you mentioned, the job is still not done. You still got Jordan Brooks. You still got Brewer. So let's see if you can secure some of these, obviously alleviate the cap, and let's see which veteran they add as well once free agency starts.
Evan.
Hi. Nice to see you all. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure, man.
It's a pleasure, guys.
The nightcap.
I'll enjoy this. Oh, but Bobby, late night's coming back, Bobby. When I bought that jersey, I said to myself, I trolled this kid enough. I had fun driving Bobby nuts all season. And I said, when they fire the guy that's holding back Devon Achane, because yes, he held him back because he stopped going away from the run game, I would buy his jersey. And that day, when I screamed, Bobby, I bought that jersey. Did I not, Bobby? Live on a show. I bought that jersey. The kid was the best thing that's happened to this Dolphins during this rebuild. He's a foundational piece that you need in a rebuild. It gives the balance between you don't know what's coming between Malik Willis and Devon Achane. It shows that the path of the Miami Dolphins is something that a player like Devon Achane could have said, you want to know what? Yeah, I want to get paid. But do I want to spend the next up to 4 years on a team that might be going nowhere? Or do I believe that this team has the foundational pieces and the right head coach and the right general manager and the right overall foundation to succeed? Because yes, you want to take the money, but at the same time, he could have said, you want to know what? I might sign a 1-year deal and then go see what's out there. There's no 5th-year option with him. He wasn't a first-round pick, so he could hold out. He could say, I want to trade. There's a lot of things that could have happened. But Devon Achane believes in what's happening in Miami. He likes what the opportunities are for him. Whatever Jeff Hafley, whatever Bobby Slowick, whatever John Eric Sullivan sold to him, he likes. And that will give more confidence to the rest of the team that there's possibility here. And what were the one things that Bobby, you and I have been saying since the end of last season? What are our expectations this season? There are no expectations. So this season is going to be fun. People are talking about, oh, wow, this is the second hardest schedule. I couldn't care less what the schedule is. I honestly don't care. The point of this season, the point of having someone like Devon Achane and having people like Malik Willis is fun. I'm looking forward to the fact that, you want to know what? This team is going to be fun. It's not going to be that Moody Judy in 2019 where you're tanking for Tua. You have a coach who doesn't want to talk to anybody. Did you happen to see the interview he did with Richard Sherman? Like, people talked about, remember when they were going to hire Jeff Hafley and everyone was worried about the haircut? Like, people are worried. Honestly, the one thing that these two guys have, which I like about, is the conviction to go after what they want. They said they weren't going to trade Devon Achane, that he was a foundational piece. And he is. He's a dual threat player who is able to make plays on his own, break tackles, be a wide receiver, is a 3-down back. And I don't care what they signed him to. And Bobby, I said, I thought they were going to sign him to about $50 million. Then I saw the Breece Hall contract. I did it around $30 million guaranteed. It turned out to be 32. He's a better quarterback. He's a better running back than Breece Hall. He's done more in the first couple of years than Breece Hall. And to steal a line from the former QB, the market is the market. So he got what he wanted. The Dolphins, I think, don't lose out on this deal. And I'm very content with this contract signing, and I love it. I love it. Honestly, there's nothing I don't enjoy about what's happening with the Dolphins this year. Like, I look back now, Bobby, we talked about it on the draft, the raw reaction to absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Who's Will Kuzmarek? You go watch Will Kuzmarek now, the tape on Will Kuzmarek. Achane is going to have, if he runs on the left side and you have Kuzmarek, Proctor, and Paul running for days, you won't be able to see Devon Achane. Honestly, like, the foundation point of what they're doing here is building a foundation. And like I've talked to you, Bobby, on the phone briefly, I'm in Montreal. I'm in Canada. If you're following hockey, people who are in Florida, you're big Panther fans. There was a rebuild that happened in my city a couple of years ago that's way ahead of schedule. They built foundational pieces. They signed the right players early. The young core of the team is why they're winning right now. And that's what's going to happen with the Dolphins. They have a lot. He's going to be a leader. He will be a captain. Like, he will be one of the top captains on offense along with Brewer. And he will be a mentor to the people coming up. Like, he will be a person who will be able to guide the offense. Like, if you look back at 2019, there was no one guiding the offense there. Who was the guy? Ryan Fitzpatrick. It was Josh Rosen. There was nothing there. It was Ryan Fitzpatrick the first year, but that was a veteran. Here you have young guys. You have to build from the youth. And that's what they're doing on this team. There's no old guys on this team. It's the youngest team in the NFL by a country mile. So for me, I love it. Honestly, I could not love the signing more. And it's the right thing. They did the right thing. They kept the one player they should have kept, and they kept him. And I believe they're going to do the same thing. I think at one point you'll see Jordan Brooks want to resign.
Yep.
I think Aaron Brewer. If you think Aaron Brewer is going to sign for $20 million because Tyler Linderbaum is not $24 million, that ain't going to happen. So, like, that's not the market. Is the market, right? So, but overall, the Dolphins right now are quietly doing what they need to do. And you know what I like about it, Bobby? The respect factor. And I don't know about you. It's something, and I don't want to bring up, I don't like tash up history, but I get the alerts on Twitter and on X and on YouTube about our former head coach talking about Justin Herbert and talking about the Chargers because they signed David Njoku and all that. And I listen to him and I go, what is this nonsense, this dribble? He's talking about Justin Herbert like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Didn't he say it about Tua last year? I like the fact that in this, there's no expectations here. The fact that you're going to go out and you're going to earn your keep. You're going to earn your stripes here. Even Devon Achane was signed to this contract, but if he struggles, he's earned it. That's the difference. He's earned it, but a lot of people here have to come into camp and they have to earn it. The guy proved that. I believe that we haven't even scratched the surface of Devon Achane. I believe he was held back because he was in an offense where how often were Alex and Bobby were we watching games and they went away from the run game because they were trying to prove something. Here, Devon Achane is your leader. He's your Saquon Barkley. He's your Derrick Henry, but he's a player that you could basically give the ball to 40 times and he ain't going to do you wrong. So for me, to get this news today, and you do love the fact that it's not even a big splash. Like they don't do it to get the splash. They do it because they make commitments. It's the conviction of it, right? They kept a promise. There's so much going on in the world of sports right now, playoffs, all this kind of stuff. They didn't do it at 4:00 in the at noon where there's nothing going on. They snuck it in there at the end of the day because they don't want to make a big deal about it. They're not trying to make a big thing out of it. They're basically saying we're paying the guy because he deserves to be paid. We're not trying to be razzle dazzle here. We're signing a guy because he deserves that contract.
So I'll say right now too. And it looks like Sammy just put in here that it's confirmed that the Dolphins at Las Vegas week 1 has been revealed. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow.
I don't
we're
trust
talk
that
about
it. The actual schedule.
We'll talk about that more tomorrow on Finn's Talk Today, tomorrow night on 8 p.m. Eastern time with me and Finn Sammy. So, but shout out there. We'll keep a lookout on that. But to your point, and again, Evan, we've heard this over and over again. We've debated, but we've heard we've heard from the other people like, oh, but you don't give us running back a second contract. You don't give this. And my argument is he's not just a running back. He's a multifaceted weapon. He can do it all. But again, this contract, to your point, I want to jump on this very quick. To your point with John Eric Sullivan and Coach Halfley, but John Eric Sullivan especially, everything he said he's going to do, he's meant it. When he doesn't give you the answer, he's giving you that politically correct answer, like, we appreciate him, we haven't made a decision yet. Tua's gone. You kind of read between lines, they're going to look at the deal. Jalen Waddle, he brought up Achane, Brewer, Patrick Paul, Jordan Brooks. Oh, what about Jalen Waddle? Jalen's a good player. He's a good player. He's and what Jalen Waddle gone. But he said by 4 guys, and these things about it, they're going to try to extend these guys. And Devon Achane, they're going to try to trade him. They, if he gets a good offer, they're going to move him. I don't think he's going to stay. They extend him. And again, my point, Evan, as you were coming on or before you came on, was that it's not only about extending him because he's a great player. Because the argument could be made, Evan, we've heard it before, that why would he take a deal here, or why would they do it? They're not going to be good anytime soon, which you just brought up your team, the hockey team that wasn't expected to be good, and they're better than what people thought and everything else. We saw it with Houston. Not saying that's going to happen with Miami. You can't say that. Zero expectations. But this is not just about getting a player who's great because you expect your team to be great. We don't have that expectation. But you're getting a player who, again, I give you we get multiple examples. Chop Robinson, Savanea. Chop Robinson, heard rumors that he wasn't fully given 100% last year. Savanea was on the wrong side. Now he's on the right side. And all of a sudden, coaches say the offensive line, well, we think if he's on the right side, he's going to do better in his natural position. Whoa, rocket science. What the hell did the other guys think? Anyway, you look at those guys last year, the whole team, Zach Sealer, where the hell was he? A lot of these guys that we expect to be good or were good players, even Tua, if you believed or didn't believe in him, you look at these guys, they did not perform up to par, but it was always the blame game with Tua, right? Oh, here. This guy. Oh, I didn't really mean that. But then when McDaniel, blah, 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 and everybody else was not playing up to par, but you could say, well, no one else did. But there were 4 guys who did. Devon Achane was one of those guys, no matter how shitty and crappy the team was, no matter what the situation that was happening around him, nobody would ever say Devon Achane's not going to give 100%. He never quit on the team. You never saw him give no effort. Every time, even when we were down, Evan, and you're like, they're going to kill him. Even when Miami was down and had nothing to play for, he was running for his life to get to that end zone and jumping over the pile. That's why John Eric Sullivan said he's a foundational piece. We want guys who are going to go week in and week out and perform their best football, perform their best on the field. He's an example. When you bring players in, you go, that's what you're supposed to do. Come in here every week, ready to play, ready to compete. That's what he does. That's why anybody not named those 4 guys, and maybe Malik Willis, have a bullseye on him this year, minus the rookies redrafted. But everyone else has a bullseye. Every single one of them. Because if they come in and give half-ass performances, or they don't show up in camp ready to play, ready to compete, they're going to be out the door. He traded Jalen Waddle. He cut Tyreek Hill. He traded Tua Tagovailoa for a big deal. You don't think he's going to cut your ass? He'll cut you if you don't perform. But those 4 guys perform week in, week out. Jordan Brooks had the balls to say, we're soft. We're a soft team. Everybody go, oh, shoot. Right? We always said it. You never thought a teammate would say, no, he said it. That's why John Harry Sullivan loves that guy. Does he trade him? I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's going to extend him. And I would rather extend him, keep him with Jacob Rodriguez and Kyle Lewis. But that's why he said he's one of the foundational pieces.
There's
those
no
4
way to
guys
move him.
you never expected. I mean, no, week in and week out, Patrick Paul, Aaron Brewer, Jordan Brooks, Devon Achane. You knew those 4 guys were going to do their best to play the best football. Can they have a bad game? Everybody has a bad game, but you never doubt what they're going to come in. You doubted Tua's effort. You doubted Jalen Waddle, Zach Sealer, anybody else but those 4 guys. And that's why those 4 guys were called the foundational pieces. And that's why Devon Achane, with his talent, plus that notion right there, he got the deal he got. And it was rightfully deserved, and I love it, and I'm happy that they got him. They kept him. Because he's going to be he's a great player, but he's going to even be better now that you just brought it up. Kasmerick, the tight end. You think about Patrick Paul, Proctor, Aaron Brewer, Savannah now on the right side, hopefully lives up to the competition and wins that spot. Who knows what happens to Austin Jackson? But you really, and then you put Kasmerick there on the right side next to Jackson. Holy crap. Are you kidding me? And they already said, we want to run. We're a running team. Slowick said, I believe in running the ball. Let me tell you something. I'm excited for Devon Achane, but I'm ecstatic in regards of what I think potential could be for Ollie Gordon. Look out for Ollie Gordon, because don't think Devon Achane's not going to be spread out here and there, but Ollie freaking Gordon. Look out.
What about Jalen Wright? Don't forget about the last remaining Jalen.
We'll see how. Well, Le'Veon Moss retired, apparently, injuries, but it's okay.
Yeah,
but
what happened with that?
Jalen Wright too.
Does he get his guaranteed money?
No, I don't think so. He can't.
Oh, because I'm like, that's kind of sketchy, bro. I just got a guaranteed contract. I'm going to retire in 7 days. Like, whoa. My money back, man.
Sammy says that they announced the game with sales reps for the schedule release.
Yeah, so. But honestly, but there's weirdness because they're talking about how the Jets might be at week 2. The last
I saw Jets, yeah.
Yeah, the one thing, or they might have to, but the problem is that they were announcing though that the second week, which I believe is September 19th and 20th, there's already something happening at Hard Rock. I don't see them. I don't know how they would work that because I don't see putting the Dolphins 2 weeks. They don't typically put a team 2 weeks on the road to start a season. That's kind of odd, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I don't see that happening. So honestly, until you actually see it in writing, you never know. Plus, the Dolphins. Didn't you know the Dolphins were selling they were selling tickets for the season before they even knew what the schedule was. They already wanted to get cash grabs on the money. That's one thing about Ross. Like the one thing I will say to that department, Tom Garfunkel, they need to do a better job of like marketing their tickets and marketing the brand. Like a lot of teams do it really well. That's the one thing they're missing is they don't do a great job with their season ticket holders and like getting and like building up the ticket base. That's 100% the truth.
So
I'm not questioning it, Sammy. I'm just saying I think that's ridiculous that a team should have to start 2 weeks on the road. I'm just saying I think that's ridiculous.
It's a
or to have to go west to east.
Ozzy NFL is the one who said that the Dolphins are set to visit the Raiders in week 1. Okay. But David Ferrones, I think I'm saying that right, probably butchering it. He says if you combine internet reports, NFL schedule release, the Dolphins are hosting the New York Jets at 1 p.m. and then playing at the Las Vegas Raiders at 4:25 in week 1. So there's conflicting rumors. He says currently working to confirm how the team will handle logistics of the travel for that day. But usually they save the East games for a couple weeks in, and then
Correct.
they go.
No, but I would like to see what I would like to see is will the NFL continue to punish the Dolphins again? They did last season and the season before because and not give the Dolphins the advantage of 1 o'clock games in September because of the stadium benefit, right? Like they did that last year where they gave us no 1 o'clock games, which I think was total BS. Every team has an advantage, weather-wise or something.
Correct.
The Dolphins should not be denied because of how they built the stadium to hurt the other team. They've lost games doing it, even in September. So, like, why? Also, it's a time for people to travel. It's a nice time to talk. So I see, like, they shouldn't hurt the Dolphins because of the fact that people are too warm and they're complaining in the NFL that there's 1 o'clock games and it's really hot for the other team. Give me a break.
Babies, little bunch of babies.
But ridiculous. Come to Canada. Come to Canada in the month of May. It's May 13th here, and it's like 40 degrees. It's ridiculous. It's right now the average temperature should be in the 70s. It's in the 40s. It's ridiculous here. Ridiculous.
Sammy going back 23, week 1 at Chargers, week 2 at Patriots. So you go. I'll tell you one thing. At least we don't have any international games. I'm happy about that.
Oh, thank God.
There's no international.
And I hope there's no night games, please. No night games.
Yeah, I don't know.
No primetime games.
Unless it's the Packers or the Chargers, right? Because it's the return of Mike McDaniel or the Chargers. The one you keep bringing up every episode.
Bobby.
Every time you're on air, you bring them up.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Fan club weekend. If McDaniel's there, oh boy, I'm gonna have the biggest sign up. Like that would be classic for me. Oh. I would love that. I would have to be there. Alex, you'd have to be there. Like, honestly, a McDaniel return, I could heckle that guy. I would heckle that boy all day long. Oh, my God.
And I got to give it to McDaniel. His parting gift was H.N. Like, we drafted him because of him. So I got to give it to him. I'm very thankful for McDaniel for leaving H.N. on the way out, and we were able to extend him. So that's a big thank you for him.
Yeah. No, but honestly, though, honestly, I'm looking back. I look at how the team is now, and I just look at the people. Honestly, it's just a different mindset. It's just like, and by the way, what do you think, guys, about the fact that already we might lose our assistant general manager? He's being interviewed for the Minnesota job. Yeah, Kyle Davidson.
Holy crap!
Yeah, he's already being interviewed for that. That's the second guy who we would have hired, and then boom, he's gone.
Yeah,
I guess we hire good people.
That's not bad. That's not
bad. No, but honestly. But that's what I really want to pinpoint. HN chose to stay here.
Yeah.
Like, what?
He's trusting the process. Yeah.
He's trusting the process. He believes in what he's seeing. He had to be sold on what's there. And you know what I like about the guys? I don't know if you guys watching everything, you hear about it. I like the fact that the people around us, they answer the goddamn questions.
Yeah,
like,
directly too.
And you happen to notice, Bobby, the maturity of the people they brought in? Yeah. Like if you look at the interviews of the people, like I know every time there's those moments, but like even when they've been interviewing the young guys, like you listen to Jacob Rodriguez talk, you listen to Caden Proctor talk, there's a professionalism there, right? It doesn't look, there's going to be no ping pong tables and basketball hoops inside of the dressing room. They want to build a professional, respectful organization. That's the one thing we always like. That's the one thing I will tell you about this. Whether we win 8 games, whether we win 4 games, we're not going to be laughed at as the Dolphins. The one thing that you will see is this team will work their effing tails off.
I love that you said
or you're gone.
I love that you said, because I'm going to say
orange jersey nonsense. No, we get to play the music. Like, what is this nonsense?
No, because again, you're not just. It's Coach Hafley's the coach of this football team, and I'm excited. I love what I hear so far from him. He was on Dan Lepetard, genuine guy. Like he's coming off really well,
and he's a fun guy too. He's a fun guy.
Love, hate McDaniel. McDaniels could be a cool guy, whatever. But Hafley comes off really well. But at the same time, you know that when he's on that field, he's come to coach, you're come to play. There's none of this nonsense French stuff. But that's the same thing with John Eric Sullivan. With Chris Grier, you didn't have that. Chris Grier was, I drafted the players, I signed the players, do it, and I'm going to go do my own thing, whatever. John Eric Sullivan's there on the sidelines in shorts like a coach. I mean, he's there. You know damn well if he looks.
He's working out with them, by the way. He works out with them.
I'm saying if he sees first off the coach is shit in the bed and calling the wrong plays and whatever, or keeping a guy out there that shouldn't be out there, or he's there and he's looking at players giving half-ass, you don't think he's going to get in that coach or say something to the coach or go to that player and say, "What the hell are you doing?" Again, he already showed that everybody's on notice. He showed, I don't care what your contract is. People say I can't do it. I'm going to do it. I will cut you. I will trade you. I don't care what the league, how the league views you, Jalen Waddle. I don't care how good you are, Tyreek Hill around the league. I don't care, the upside or what people think of you, whatever. I don't care. If I don't think you're giving 110%, or I don't think that you could be a valuable piece of this football team, you're out the door. So players like Zach Sealer, who we like, but if he plays like he did last year, he's gone. Let's be real. He's out the door, right? There's guys that you go, but he remember he was once that good. Chop Robinson, you were a first-round pick. You did good in your rookie year. You were ass in year 2. If you come year 3 playing half-ass, performing half-ass in practice, not making football a priority during the season, if you do that same thing, you're gone. I don't care if you're a first-round pick. Some team will want you. We won't want you. And let me tell you something. Let me make this perfectly clear. Right? Miami got a couple edge rushers in this draft. And let me tell you, Trey Moore and the kid out of Iowa, I'm really excited. But well, I love how the roles have switched. We got Evan's usually a troll, and now it's Sammy. Sammy's coming in, taking up the role. He's really having some fun with it.
He's only been doing it to me for about 6 months already.
But what I'm going to say is, next year's draft with edge rushers looking really freaking good. There are some really good edge rushers, Evan and Alex, that if Chop Robinson doesn't show up and show out, don't worry, brother. We could go get another one coming in. So that's what I love about this team, Evan, and you're right. So, there are no expectations for this season, but I know people, tank. We're not tanking. I don't see this team tanking. I'm not going to say I'm expecting any wins, but I won't be surprised if we come in and go, damn, this team's performing way better than we thought, because that's the way this team's going to play.
The Jets are the Jets, but they added a veteran quarterback, and they continue to add play. They continue to add. They still have more developed players in Garrett Wilson. They still have Quentin Williams. They still have foundational players that are still developed, but they're still trying to build their team. I wouldn't want to be the Patriots now.
No.
You have the controversy over Mike Vrabel. They have a 10 times harder schedule. They have
so happy I never wanted Vrabel. I was so right when I said I didn't want Vrabel.
Yeah, right.
I never wanted him.
Oh, yeah, right.
You got rid of him in Tennessee. I knew.
Right.
You knew.
I knew. I was so happy when he's gone. I was like, forget that.
By the way,
you were the one filming them when they went into the lake on the boat and all that.
Let me ask you: of all the teams in the AFC East, we have the least amount of pressure. I don't want to tell you something.
No,
Let me finish.
We're not that far off.
The Bills. There's no pressure. The Bills are opening up a new stadium. They hired a young head coach in a team that's expected to win. They haven't added anything superstarish yet in free agency. It's all going to be on Josh Allen and James Cook again. So, in a brand new stadium, high expectations. The Chiefs are what? They don't have Patrick Mahomes at the beginning of the year. There's all these expectations now that the genius is now with the Chargers. We'll see what happens there. The Ravens haven't gotten over the hump yet, and Derrick Henry's a new year older, and you're bringing in Jesse Minter. You lost John Harbaugh, and you're bringing in Anthony Weaver. Yes, you have Trey Hendrickson and all these guys, but there's no superstar team there's no guarantee. Just because Joe Burrow, he still has Zach Taylor, who's still his head coach. They still don't have much of a defense. All these teams that have all these great there's no expectations. And look at this. Every team, there's not one team in the NFL right now that is standalone, an amazing guaranteed football team. No one thought the Seahawks coming. If the Dolphins just do their job, there's no expectations this year. I think within 3 years, they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot, and they're going to build because they're going to build through the draft, young guys on cheap contracts, and then people are going to want to come to Miami to be part of this growth. You don't think people are going to see what's being built here and want to come here? And trust me, also, people don't think about this. If you're Tutu Atwell, if you're Jalen Tolbert, if you're any of these guys who are making $1.2 million, $1.3 million, and you're on a 1-year contract, you don't think you're busting your ass off to get your next contract?
Mm-hmm.
You are going to kick yourself in the ass. You want to be Devon Achane. Do you think that Malik Willis is happy making $22.5 million? No, he's happy to get that now, but you don't think he's going to work his freaking tail off to know that that sometime next year he gets an extension? You think yes, they might draft a quarterback, but his plan is not to just be the quarterback here for the next 2 years. His plan is to be the quarterback for the next decade. So all the people here are going to work their asses off. We're not going to be picking people up on Tuesday like Brian Flores was to play on Sunday. You better kick your ass here. They signed all these players. They cut players that were already on the roster and put undrafted free agents. Look at that guy, Rieger. Are you kidding me? Like, he's going to be your Kader Kohu of this year. He's going to be a good player. He will be on your defense this year. Chris Bell, when he is ready, he's going to be great. Like, so for me, all this expectations, I just want to see effort. If you don't, that's the one thing I will want to see, and I will be I want to see that they're trying, and that's what I haven't seen for the last 3 years. People, Bobby, this is going to be the most hardest working training camp you'll ever see. If a team is coming here to do a joint practice, they better be prepared, because they're going to get their asses whooped, because this is basically, on this team, you basically have 45 Rudies. You have 45 Rudies. They're going to get knocked down. They're going to get right back up, because everyone on here, do the math. Outside of the standard base players that are here, more than 85 to 90% of this roster is making $1 million, $1 million to $1.5 million. Everyone outside of Dulcich, Achan, Brooks, Brewer, Malik Willis, everyone's making $1 million. So they're going to work. Everyone's fighting for a contract. Everyone is fighting for a contract on this team. The only person who shouldn't worry about a contract is Devon Achan. Everyone else is fighting for a contract. Everyone else is fighting for a contract. No one's guaranteed anything.
Alex, your thoughts?
Well, one thing that I always compare it to, and the comparisons that I have, is a Seattle rebuild. I don't think this team is that far off as a common fan would expect them to be, due to the whole situations that we've had the last couple of years. Alone, what they did in this draft, you have possibly 5 to 6 starters or contributors from day one, and like foundational piece contributors. Because you just drafted right there, you might have drafted 2/3 of your linebacking core in a matter of 3 or 4 rounds this draft. So there's a lot of pieces that are being added, and there was some talent in this roster. People forget that. Like, Malik Washington has something to prove. Like you mentioned, you signed Tutu Atwell, Tolbert. They're going to have the opportunity, but Malik Washington wants to prove something, that he can be a Tyreek Hill type player. Chris Bell, he wants to get back. Douglas wants to get back. Wants to prove that he wasn't a reach. So there's an incentive for this team to surprise a lot of people, the coaching staff, the general manager, and who is the gratified customer of all this? The Dolphins fans, because for so long we've wanted to have a competitive team. We wanted to have a tough team, and I don't know about you, but it's like a little checklist, right? Everything Sully and Halfley said is like, damn, okay, they said they did it. They said they were going to be competitive. They want to compete. And now they've said that also. They haven't said, have you noticed? I mean, every coach and GM is going to say they want to be competitive, but they genuinely believe that this team can compete this year. I'm not saying for not championship level, but you just mentioned the distress of the Patriots, the Bills with the high expectations of a new stadium, and not really having any roster upgrades that we've seen so far. The Jets are going to be the Jets. The Jets are still far. They have too many holes left. This team could, I'm not saying sneak in as a wild card, but they can be competing there mid-year. And if everything breaks right and they stay healthy, they can surprise a lot of teams and get on their tails towards the end of the year and even fight for a possible wild card spot. So I would not count it out. This isn't a quarterback. This is a quarterback that is hungry to prove himself, that he's just not a GM favorite that was picked and plucked from Green Bay. So I'm telling you, there's nothing there that won't surprise me. Look.
No, I know. He thinks I'm not paying attention. By the way, you know what that's a sign of, Bobby? You know what the sign of?
What's that?
Jealousy. Just pure and utter jealousy. He's like Ethan Page coming after Penta. What was I going to say? Bob, you know what it reminds me of? You know what this is? You'll appreciate this. You know what the Dolphins remind me of this season? They're like preparing for the draft for me this year. I'm going in and I'm basically watching tape. And
Yes.
I'm going to be watching the players.
Yep.
Are they developing?
Yep.
Are they getting better?
Mhm.
Are they listening to the coaching staff?
Correct.
Are they giving it their all? Are they going to start next week? Because I can bet you this. Whoever starts week 1, if they don't give their effort, they ain't starting week 2.
Yeah.
Right? They ain't starting week 3. I think the joke was, I think someone mentioned, do you know, if I were to tell you this right now, Alex, would you believe me that Jordan Phillips,
Uh-huh.
the 5th round pick,
Yeah.
he had 100 less snaps. But do you know he was on the line to start more than double the games that Kenneth Grant did?
I
Your
don't know.
15th pick has started half the games that your 5th round pick did.
Mm-hmm.
That's so you just doesn't matter where you were drafted. If you're on a roster, you could prove that you deserve a spot. No, there's no free rides in Miami anymore. The only thing that's free there is your state tax. Nothing else is free when you walk into Miami Gardens and Hard Rock Stadium. But we can ask you guys' opinion. What is up with the BS? Because Bobby, I have been to Hard Rock Stadium many times.
You're gonna go to
with
Super
the
Bowl? Super Bowl
F1
route?
setup. That is such a troll job. They just want money from Stephen Ross to spend. If they don't think that they're going to have the Super Bowl here in the next 6 years, they're insane. You don't think Stephen Ross is going to make room for a Super Bowl? Are you kidding me? Are you unbelievable? Are you insane? This is South Beach. You're telling me you want to continue to go to these cities? If you could host it in New Orleans and you could host it in Atlanta, how do you not in Vegas? How do you not host it in Miami? Are you kidding? The national championship was here. Are you kidding me? They host soccer games here with riots. Are you kidding me? You can host the Super Bowl.
I didn't buy that.
They brought some inspector with their clip-on tie and their pocket protector, and they did the square footage around the stadium. Oh, the F1 course. There's no room to put the catering. Are you kidding me? This is Stephen Ross. He'll what kind of nonsense is this bullshit?
And the reason he did it, first and foremost, and I got to give it to him. Well, now Stephen Ross sold that. He sold the stadium. He sold the F1, the F1 formula, the tennis, the Miami Open for about, I think it was like $12 billion or $13 billion.
He makes more on it.
Yeah. So there are things there. The reason he did it is because of the NFL. The NFL said if you want to continue to host Super Bowls, you need to upgrade your facilities. You need to fix your stadium. You need to put a partial roof. Like, those are things that, I mean, I know there's other teams now with a bunch of dome stadiums and retractable roofs that are going to host, but like you mentioned, city-wise, which is one of the things to me that has always bothered me, NBA-wise. The Heat haven't hosted an NBA All-Star Weekend since 1990 because it coincides with a boat show. So there's no hotels. I'm like, you have to make an accommodation. As a league, you can make an accommodation and make the All-Star game a week later, or you could talk to the boat show and make it a week before. It's impossible that Miami has not hosted an NBA All-Star game in over 40 years.
Let me ask you guys this, and we'll get ready to wrap it. But I want to ask you this off topic, but because you're just talking about 1990. Did any of you see Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith back together on Friday?
Oh, God.
Did you get to see it?
I didn't see it.
Did you?
I haven't watched First Take.
I didn't see it
in a very long time.
He's a moron.
Very barely can I watch First Take, but I'm going to tell you.
Those two.
It was so nostalgic to turn.
Yeah, it is nostalgic.
Did you see what Skip Bayless put LeBron in his top 10?
Top 9, yeah. He put
him 9.
9. He made.
People got to stop hating, man. Like, there's certain things that it's just unrealistic.
He made Stephen A. Smith have to defend LeBron. You know, Stephen A. Smith hates LeBron James personally. He hates him.
That could have been strategic.
But yeah, Stephen A. gets on my nerves. But yeah, Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless back together. I was very nostalgic because they were talking about. Of course, they brought up Tim Tebow, LeBron. You know, it's like all the old
topics haven't changed. The topics haven't changed.
I was like, they need to bring him back every Friday. Like, I don't like watching Stephen A. Smith with everybody else. I don't care. I can't watch him with I'm like, I've lost. I used to be so. Well, I used to love watching Stephen. I can't. It's not the same. But if you bring back Stephen A. you know what you're getting out of them. Like you're like, oh, I'm gonna watch this for the hot takes, because that's what Stephen A. Smith does. Not Stephen A. Smith. That's what Skip does. Evan, you know this, right?
He ignites Stephen A.
Costanza does this.
Yeah.
Comes in with the hot takes. We're like, wait, what did you just say? And and he will go on, and so much so that you start to believe, and you're like,
Yeah.
no, you're full of shit. Stop. Like, because he when he started talking about LeBron being number 9, and you go, the first thing you do is what?
That makes sense.
The talk was who ended up being right, and this was such a Finstanza, Bobby Finstock topic. Who was more right about Tim Tebow? Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. Who was more right about Tim Tebow? And Skip goes first. And Skip goes, well, obviously I was right. And you see Stephen A. go, he goes, well, I told you, draft him in the first round, and draft him in the first round, and watch, he's going to lead a team to the playoffs. And what did they do? He goes, McDaniels drafted him at the end of the first round. He came in, he had the greatest game, and this, and I was like, I'm like only they could make that topic, because who wants to talk about Tim Tebow in 2026? But they did it, and you're in there laughing because Stephen A. Smith's like, first of all, and he always does this. First of all, Tim Tebow's a friend, and I have a lot of respect for him. But you're out, just shut up and make calls. But I really enjoyed seeing those two back together. Like, I hope they do Friday night. They both drive me crazy, but separately, I can't watch them. Together, I could. I
heard they want to bring back Shannon Sharp. They want to bring back Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, he wants to bring back Shannon Sharp to First Take.
Well, the guy who got most screwed, and I wish the only time I enjoyed actually watching First Take.
Max Kellerman.
No, not Kellerman. The person who I enjoyed the most was when Irvin was there. I thought Irvin, when he was there, he could get under the skin. Like, honestly, like Bobby, when people were watching the U during the playoffs, the first thing people were looking for was Michael Irvin on the sideline just to laugh, because he's a mascot. He's a mascot. It's hilarious the way he's a game. He wants it. He wants that attention. He loves it. He was able to.
He's hilarious.
He's hilarious.
You know what though? See, but I love when I don't like when guys
himself.
agree. Like Skip Bayless offers that to Stephen A. Smith. Max Kellerman did that with Stephen A. Smith. Like he was so. Another name that I was Will Kane. Like, I'm talking about Will Kane when he was on First Take. He gave that other perspective where you would go like, "The fuck you?" But then at the same time, I like when they bring that different perspective where you gotta like quite. And there was times where he would hit, like it would make a lot of sense what he was saying. But of course, Stephen A. Smith's like, "I'm the smart sports guy. You don't even know what you're talking about." It's like, no, actually, he's actually hitting the head. Like, I like when those guys give that type of perspective. I could watch him on ESPN, not so much the other channel, but I can watch him on First Take. He's good.
Yeah.
But the talking heads though have gotten like now he's kind of sickening right now, Stephen A, because the Knicks are doing well. But like at the same time, it's like when his team is doing well, he's a little nauseating.
Yeah. I was surprised that he put the Knicks as the number 1 destination for LeBron next year.
It's like LeBron. I see LeBron going to one or two places. I see him going back to Cleveland, or I see him going to Golden State because he likes Kerr.
It might be Miami. Cleveland or Miami. That's what I think.
Might be Miami.
I know personally, I do think in the end he will go back to the East, because I think he doesn't see a pathway getting to the finals one more time through OKC. I think that's the only reason I see him going to the East.
Alex brought it up on he didn't.
Promise you to take Bronny too. The problem is you're gonna have to take Bronny too.
Well,
we'll take him.
If you take Giannis, you got to take Giannis's brother, Thanos, right? Or Theanis, whatever.
Yeah, I'll take all. I was going to say
though, but if Miami gets Giannis, LeBron could follow suit, come to Miami on an MLE, mid-level exception, and again, you got Bam, LeBron, Giannis, and then you still have the roster minus what you've traded. But you still got a good enough roster to compete in the East, and I think LeBron could do that, but we'll see.
You need to get away. He needs to get away from Wembanyama and SGA.
Yeah, and that West is only going to get tougher. Utah is going to get better. There's a lot, and even the East with Charlotte is upcoming.
Where's Durant going to end up?
That is a nice. That is going to be secondary to Giannis. There's a possibility that he's moved
phenomenal.
because
he's still the man can still shoot.
Oh yeah,
I will say, talking about KD,
are the same.
Talking about KD as we're wrapping this up again. You're not aware. We welcome back Michael Brown to the FTSN active roster.
Right.
Bringing in.
Did you see the opening today?
Beer Sports and whatever.
Did you watch a stupid opening today with that music? Can you tell him how to put on a hat? Come on. I cannot watch
You're
a
so
guy who just
judgmental on people.
his hat. Who puts a hat that doesn't even put it on his head?
It's a look, man. It's a look.
No, hats are meant to be worn, not to be like to show that he's more than 5 feet tall. Right? I know he needs a little. I know when I first met him, he was below 5 feet. With the hat, he's a little over 5 feet. But still, because if you wear it if you don't put it on top of your head,
He's just catching strays. He's just catching strays.
I know, Mike Brown. Well, Mike Brown brings over Beer, Sports, and Whatever podcast to FTSN. This episode this morning was recorded from last night, but he will be live as he goes on with his father or special guests. I mean, but they were talking Houston Astros, Houston Rockets. His Faja, Pops Brown. So excited about Mike rejoining the team, the active roster. And of course, as Evan has been on his little breaks, we've grown since the draft. We got on.
I have a team. Wait. How are the Panthers doing this playoffs?
Evan, we don't talk about the Panthers right now. We went through a very tough season.
They needed that. No, they were just resting. They want to know. They wanted everyone else to get a chance. They had the Panthers said, "Let me just take a break."
We'll be back next year.
Don't worry, we're good. Yeah.
Wait, Alex, do you know what the average age of my hockey team is? Do you know what the average age is?
22.
No, that's a little young.
Oh, 24.
25.
Wait, no, it's just under 25, and we have our star players that are dominating are all 25 and younger.
Oh no, I mean you're going to be a perennial. Contending
our
team.
Goalie who's been phenomenal, plus the other goalie who's going to be a phenom. Our goalie's average age is 21, 22 years old. It's bananas.
That's something phenomenal. That we need to fortify our goaltending position because we have a decision to make there.
Wow.
Absolutely great to add.
I'm telling you, unbelievable.
I think you found your match, brother.
but the only difference is that I did it first. Sloppy seconds doesn't count. Sloppy seconds doesn't count.
But I will say again,
Slutty Sammy.
To everyone who again, we've broken 4,000 subscribers here on Fins Talk Sports now, FTSN. I'm very excited and ecstatic for the growth of the channel. Grateful for all the contributors and content creators who've been on this channel throughout the years, but also to the viewers who've been a part of this journey and continue to join us. Again, we have all types of content here on FTSN. We got Dolphins, we got Heat, we got Marlins, we got Panthers, we got NFL, NBA, college football, fantasy sports, wrestling. We've got it all. I mean, it's not just one thing. And so we thank you all for joining us. And hopefully, whether you love or hate what we say, and we pretty much expect you to love or hate what we're going to talk about, but that's okay. We welcome the criticism. We welcome the perspectives. Everyone is welcomed here on FTSN. So subscribe to the channel. If you want to go off on Evan every week, he's used to that during the season. He welcomes it. If you want to go off on me and you're an idiot and all this, it's cool. You're a part of the group.
I got DSG.
DSG. That's right. So
I got Alex. Alex,
make sure you subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you. And if you're watching the show after the fact, do me a favor on the comments. Tell us what you think about the Giannis trade, the draft, the NBA draft, the Dolphins extending Devon Aitken, and let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to know where you're from, get to know you, and welcome you to the show. Tomorrow, FTSN continues with Fins Talk today at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be live with our live reaction to the NFL schedule. Raiders potentially week 1, Jets potentially week 7. That's what I saw from our friend Big E. So maybe that is the case, but we will see how that plays out. That is Finstanza. That's Alex El Nino, Alex the boy. I'm Bobby El Americano. 305 Sports in the house. I see you in there, Will. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you, Will. Subscribe to the channel. Let's keep building this up. We're at 4,000 right now. Let's get to 5. We continue to grow. Fins Sammy, Fins TV. Subscribe there. Subscribe to 305 Sports. Great Canes content. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Like, subscribe, and good night, Miami.
Buenas noches.
Yo, Gringos in the house. Straight out of Hialeah, no doubt. East 10th Street, where we play out. Here we bring the Miami crowd. Alex, the boy with the E. Step into rhythm, feel the heat. Street vibes mixing with the Latin tree. In our flow, the two worlds meet.